In this video, we are going to take a tour of the SierraWeb interface with a focus on borrowing functions. Before we dive in, it's helpful to know a little more about how SierraWeb fits into the Prospector system. InReach, the software platform used by Prospector, offers different types of integration based on a library's integrated library system, and how you interact with Prospector will look a little different depending on whether your library is automated or not and which ILS you use. Libraries that are not automated or that use an ILS that does not offer direct integration with InReach will use a web interface called SierraWeb to complete staff functions for Prospector borrowing requests. To access SierraWeb, open any web browser and go to swift.coalliance.org/Sierra/SierraWeb. Click the Connect to Sierra service link. Input your username and password, and click Login. Within SierraWeb, there are menus across the top and a function drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. In terms of the top navigation, there is not a lot of functionality, but I do want to highlight a couple of tools you might find useful. Under the File menu, clicking the Recent Patrons option will give you a list of patrons' account that you accessed during the current session. This can be a helpful shortcut to get back to an account you were recently in after closing out of it. Under Admin, there is a tool here that you may need to use called Free Records in Use. On occasion, records become locked by the system, which prevents you from receiving, checking in, and returning items, and you can use Free Records in Use to clear the block. I'll also show you how to prevent records from becoming locked when we look at the Checkout Circulation Desk function. Your SierraWeb logins have permission for 6 borrowing-related functions, which you can navigate to by selecting from the Function drop-down menu. For borrowing, you will mainly use Not My Item Check-in and Checkout Circulation Desk, and those are the 2 functions we'll be exploring in this video. Not My Item Check-in is the function you will use to receive and return items. The only thing you can do on this screen is enter an item barcode and click Search. Once you've done that, a row for the transaction will appear in the grid below. Checkout Circulation Desk is the function you will use to check items out to your patron or staff cards after you've received them. You can pull up a patron or staff card record by scanning or keying in the barcode and clicking Search. If the account has items that are ready to be picked up, you will receive a notification when you retrieve the record. Additional information about requests for this account can be retrieved by selecting a tab on the left side of the screen. The Checkout tab will display all checkouts completed during the current session. Checked out items will display all items checked out to the record in previous sessions. Information available here includes title, barcode, location, which is the agency code for the lending library, and the due date. Requests include any title that has been requested by the patron or staff card but has not yet been checked out. From this tab, you can cancel requests that are in IR requested status. Requests that are in transit or received cannot be canceled. The InReach tab shows information about all transactions on the patron or staff card. This is probably the tab that you will use the most. It shows the last updated date, title, location, barcode, which will be blank until the request has been filled by a lending library, and the status. You can sort the grid by clicking on the column header of the value that you want to sort by. The statuses you can expect to see in the status column include IR requested, meaning that the item has been requested in Prospector, but no lender has filled the request yet. IR in transit means that the request has been filled by the lending library and is on its way to you. IR received status means that the request has been received at your library but has not yet been checked out to the patron card. IR returned means that the item has been returned to the lending library, but the lender has not received it and checked it in yet. For items that have been checked out to the patron or staff card, the item's due date will appear in the status column. Note that the due date that appears is the date assigned by SierraWeb and may differ from the due date you provide to your patron, which should be calculated based on the replication of the transaction in your local system or non-automated tracking method. Finally, requests with the status of IR canceled were not able to be filled by any lender in the Prospector system. When you are done interacting with the record, it is very important that you click the Close button in the upper right-hand corner. Failing to close the patron record can cause it to become locked by the system. Placing Prospector requests, receiving, and returning requests in SierraWeb are covered in additional training videos that can be found in the Swift knowledge base at swift.cblsites.org/knowledge-base. If you have questions about SierraWeb or would like to request training, please contact us at swift-support@coloradovirtuallibrary.org.